Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually make a new layer in my timeline. And it's always a good habit to name layers so that you know how to find them later. Also to lock layers so that you don't accidentally put stuff on them. So here I have a new layer that I've named car, and I want you to go ahead and take a minute to draw a car. I'm going to press pause so that I can draw mine too. The only thing I want to make sure that you guys do before you start is I want to make sure that you put your drawing tools in object drawing mode. That way they are not shapes, they are objects. This is important for this particular one. I'm going to press pause and come back in a minute. Okay, so here I've drawn my car. For the body, I actually, if you had trouble getting a shape that you liked, I used the rectangle primitive tool and I rounded the corners, and then I actually broke it apart into a shape by doing clicking on it and doing Command B. And then I was able to push and pull on it to make this shape kind of like a VW bug. And then in order to make it back, I went to combine objects and union, and that made it a drawing object again. Okay, so here I have the body shape, and it doesn't have to look just like mine. Down here I have two wheels or tires, and I did put spokes in them. And if we want to make this car drive across the screen, you know that we have to use a motion tween. And in order to do a motion tween, we also have to make this a symbol first. Okay? Now, we could make it a graphic symbol, or we could make it a movie clip symbol. And by making it a movie clip symbol, we can actually nest another motion tween inside of it. Okay? So follow along. I'm going to select all the parts of the car. Okay, and you can see all the pieces are selected, and I'm going to go and convert this to a symbol. I'm going to call this car, and I'm going to make it a movie clip, and I'm going to let the registration point be in the center, and I'm going to click OK. All right. Now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and move my car to where it's halfway off the stage, and I'm going to click on it, and choose to create a motion tween. Now, as you hopefully remember from some of the videos, it automatically makes it last for 1 second of time. And that's based on your frames per second. And you see how my frame rate is right now at 20. I want this to go ahead and last 3 seconds at the moment. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to insert frame, not insert keyframe, going to insert frame so that it'll last 3 seconds. Okay, and the keyboard shortcut to insert frame is F5. Now, I am able to press F5 without using the function key. Just find that F5 key at the top row of your keyboard. Okay, now my playhead is over here in this frame. So all I need to do now is simply move my car so that it is off the stage partway to the left. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and do a Command S real quick to save, and I am going to then go to Control and Test Movie, and our car moves across. And yes, I do have a flashing stick man in the corner. We'll worry about that later. Okay? But you can see the car moving. Now, what would make this better is if we actually went into this and we made the tires rotate. Okay? Now, there's two ways you can get into a symbol. You can double click on it on your stage. And notice I'm in the car movie clip symbol. I can also go into my library and double click and wind up with the same thing. Okay? Now, I am wanting my tires to become to rotate. So I need to make those a symbol too. Okay, so I'm going to start by selecting just those tires. Okay, the two spokes and the tire itself, just on one of them. And I'm going to convert this to a symbol. I'm also going to make this a movie clip. And I'm going to call this wheel or tire, something like that. Go ahead and click OK. Now, it's okay that it's moved to the front. Okay. What I actually want to do is I want to, because I've already made this a symbol, I want to delete this other set of wheels, and I'm going to drag another instance of the car to the stage and use my tools to align it. Okay? Now, anytime you do a motion tween, it needs to be on a layer on its own. So the easy thing to do here would be to select all these pieces, and then if you hit the control menu, or sorry, the control key and click, notice that you have the option to distribute to layers. Okay? Now, each one of these pieces, the car, one of the wheels, and then the other wheel, are on a different layer. Okay? So, what I want to do is I'm going to go to my properties panel. I'm going to put on a motion tween on one of these wheels. Again, it went out to 20 frames for 1 second, and I'm actually going to say OK on that. And I actually want this to rotate. Okay, so I'm going to simply put in a keyframe here in frame 20. Whoops. I'm going to do that by hitting F6, and there's a keyframe. Now, nothing's happening so far, but if I put my playhead and click anywhere in my timeline, notice that in my properties I have rotation, and it's going to ask me how many times I want this to rotate. I'm going to click 1, and I think I want this to go counterclockwise. Let's see. I want it to go that way. So it's going to make one full rotation in that span. Okay? Then I'm going to go, it does look like the rest of my car has disappeared. Don't fret, it's just because this now lasts 1 second and the rest of it doesn't. So I need to hit F5 where my car is to make it last. And then on the other wheel, I need to put a motion tween on that. And I'm going to F6 to insert a keyframe. And I'm going to also put the rotation and direction on that as well. Okay, so now my car's wheels are spinning. This other layer that they started on, I can delete that. Okay, and I actually want my car to be in front of my tires, so I'm going to move that layer to the top. Okay, now if I go back to scene 1, I'm going to hit save again, and I'm going to go up to Control Test Movie, and now look, my car's wheels are spinning as the car moves. That's called nesting a movie clip, or that's the reason why we create movie clips, so that you can have a timeline, nest a timeline inside the main timeline. Okay, and you could continue and continue and continue. It doesn't have to be just one. It's more and more. Okay, so that's still on that symbols file. You have that car moving across the stage with a nested movie clip inside of it. Go ahead and save, and you'll be able to move on to the next video.